Good morning, brothers and sisters. This is Padkos, week 23. This morning I want to speak to you about God bless us. God bless everyone. Taken from the book of Psalm chapter 66, verse 2 and 3. And I'm reading to you Psalm 66. May the people praise you, God. May the people praise you. May the nations be glad and sing for joy, for you rule the people with equity and guide the nations of the earth. May the people praise you, God. May all the people praise you. Dear brothers and sisters, when God brings peace, guidance, and goodness to his people, and when God's people allow him to govern, he receives the glory. Just imagine if God's people were living with changed hearts, purposeful direction, and abundance that they couldn't help to share the good news. The world would be changed and alive with praise to God. We can't expect the world to let God guide if God's people don't let him guide them. We can't expect the world to let God govern if God's people won't let him govern them. So often our very lives distort and corrupt for the grace of God, the guidance of God, and the goodness that God has to offer. So often we allow Satan to take control of our lives. And even worse, we allow that God cannot take his rightful place in our lives. And God's work cannot flourish in our lives. Without God's blessing, we will encounter suffering and pain. A blessing that God gives us that is ours to share. Ultimately, all God does for us is not just or even primarily for our good, but for his glory. To be blessed by God is to be ready to be used by God. One day on all the earth will fear him and give him the reverence, the respect and honor he deserves. That is the greatest blessing of all, when all the redeemed of all the earth unite in the worship of the only true and worthy God. Sometimes I have to scratch my head over and over the fact that there are billions of people on this planet who don't know the God who created them, nor could they care less. Like the psalmist, I want all the people to praise God. I want all the nations to be glad and sing for joy. Why, you may ask? For 3 reasons, dear brothers and sisters. First, God is worthy of our praises. He is worthy of everyone's praises. Secondly, praising God for who he is changes us. And I believe our act of praising can change our circumstances, or at least the way we react to them. Many a person now in turmoil could be transformed in the midst of their trial by adopting an attitude of praise as they pass through their difficulties. And lastly, I like to envision what planet Earth would be like if all the people would praise God. Think of it, dear brothers and sisters. How would that affect the way we live on this planet? Wars will cease as we lay down our weapons at his feet. Strife would end as races and nationalities would come together in praise of God. We will be more motivated to help one another, to do as Jesus commanded and feed the hungry, visit the prisoners, and aid the widows and orphans. not out of compulsion, but out of compassion. When Christ returns, we shall see that day. I can hardly wait, dear brothers and sisters. I want to challenge you this day and for this week that lies ahead of us. Let us start praising God. When praises goes up, blessings come down. This is Padkos. Have a blessed day, a blessed week, dear brothers and sisters. Stay safe and be blessed. I thank you very, very much.